Let's give it up for Mr. Del Toro McNeil.
Yeah.
Check.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, man. You got the clicker? All right, what's up, Firewalkers? Are you ready to have a good time? Are you ready to have a good time? Say, oh yeah! I want to see if y'all got to take the party with me. Everybody, put your hands together. Come on. Everybody, put those hands together. Come on. Everybody, put those hands together. You doing good? Everybody move. Come on. Everybody move. Come on. Everybody move. Come on. That's right, baby. Okay, cool. Well, what's up? Are y'all ready to have an awesome time? Say, oh yeah. I'm going to go ahead and adopt whoever's chair this is, because I'm short like Kevin Hart, but you're going to learn today. Are y'all ready to have a good time? Say, oh yeah. Listen, do me a favor. I love Sarah. Is that your name? Sarah did an incredible job. Put your hands together for Sarah, y'all. I love how she started out with this conversation of intention, right? And I want you to take a minute right now and ask yourself this question. If I could sit at the feet of a mentor who's been ranked one of the top speakers in the world, who's been mentored by Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, come on somebody, studied under Dr. John C. Maxwell, Paula White, Pastor Joel Osteen, come on somebody, are you feeling me? Say, oh yeah. Been to tons of Tony events. You feel what I'm saying? Living the dream, written 6 books, given over 3,000 paid presentations all around the world, has a reality show, PBS special infomercial, and is making the dream happen, is not 40 yet. Let's see if we can get that little hum out of there. Or I'll take the mic off, it's no problem. We'll work it out. That's the vibration. Say, oh yeah! But has also been through a whole hell of a lot of pain in order to get that. Extraordinary people go through extraordinary challenges. Would you agree with that? Say, oh yeah. I'm like the Rocky Balboa of speaking. Does that make sense? It didn't come easy for me. You feel what I'm saying? I got knocked upside the head a couple times. The Russian beat me a lot. You feel me? Mr. T tried to take me out. But I got back up again and I pushed forward and I was successful. Does that make sense? So we say, oh yeah. I'm brand new to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I literally moved here in late December from Tampa, Florida. So, so all my Florida folks, right? And I moved in December, right? Great for my business, horrible for my, oh my God. Like me personally, I was dying. I was like, okay, I clearly missed God on this one, right? It was like I went from 75 degrees to 22 degrees in a move. I'm like, are you kidding me? What the hell is this? And people tell me not to say that I'm in Fort Worth. People tell me to tell y'all that I'm in Keller. Does that make sense? I'm in Keller, South Lake. I'm not in Fort Worth. Even though my thing says Fort Worth, I don't live in Fort Worth, I guess. So I'm in Keller, everybody. Right, that's an important distinction. Gotcha. So I'm brand new here. And let me just say thank you to you all, because this is like my second time, actually my third time, getting a chance to present in my new hometown. And so I'm honored to be here with you all. And if you trust me, over the next few minutes that we have together, I'm going to change your absolute freaking life. But we're going to do so in a fun way, and it's going to be powerful, because we're going to deal with something today that's the number one fear in America, and one of the number one fears in the world, and that's presentation skills in public speaking. It's so funny, because you guys have some text talks coming up. Come on, somebody, right? You guys got some opportunities to present and deliver, and whether it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour or 5 hours or three weekends, right? Doesn't matter how long your delivery. I want to show you how to overcome the number one fear that's stopping most people from succeeding. Because here's what I honestly believe. If you can take out the number one fear, fear number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in your life don't stand a chance. Why do you think Tony does the extreme things that he does? The reason why he makes you walk on fire, because if you can walk on fire, what else can you walk on in your business? What else can you walk on in your marriage? Makes sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. The reason why he makes you climb that pole and jump off the pole, take that leap of faith, right? When you come to date with destiny, why does he do that? Because he wants to kind of get you out of your comfort zone. Makes sense? Say, oh yeah. So over the next couple minutes that we have together, I'm gonna help you grow and stretch, but I'm a very content-rich cat. So I'm high energy, but I'm high content. You feel me? So get a pen and piece of paper, because a short pencil is better than a long memory any day of the week. You feel me? My name is Delatoro, right? I'm the only one on the planet except my dad. You feel me? So I'm super easy to get a hold of. You can just type in DELA and then Google does the rest. The TORRO, Google fills that part in for you. I'm Delatoro on all social media, and we're gonna be best friends at the end of an hour in about 15 minutes. That sound good? Say, oh yeah. You're gonna learn a lot about you. You're gonna learn a lot about me, so we're gonna have a good time doing that. Now, I wanna ask you a question. One of my favorite movies growing up was The Karate Kid. Anybody a Karate Kid fan? I'm an old school cat. I'm 39, but I'm an old school cat. Here's what I mean. Anybody else old school in the room other than me? Say, oh yeah. In other words, I was raised on He-Man and She-Ra. Y'all feel what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with these newfound cartoons, going on all this anime nonsense. I was raised on the Smurfs. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Thundercats. Anybody remember Thundercats? Don't make me feel like I'm by myself. Throw your hands up on some Thundercats. Y'all feel me? Say, oh yeah. I was don't laugh at me. If you laugh at me, it affects my self-esteem. So, but no, real talk. Listen, I don't know why. When I sing bass, right? But when I laugh soprano. I don't know why God did that to me. But it's just kind of cool. So you're going to learn that as we go throughout this presentation. You're going to have a good time. It's a good balance. You feel what I'm saying? The yin and the yang. You feel me? But I was raised old school, and one of the things that I loved about the movie The Karate Kid was that there was this mentorship aspect. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. And so one of the things that I really believe is that if you want to be successful in anything, and I want you to think about right now, I want you to think about this intention conversation. What is your dream? Today, I want to be a touchable, touch me, there you go, pinch me. I want to be a touchable example that your freaking dream is 150,000% possible. You feel me? Love Tony. Tony's incredible. Tony's amazing. But guess what? In many ways, Tony's unfucking touchable. So one of the things that I want you to do is I want you to have a touchable example. Touch me. Okay, so listen, as we go throughout this presentation, like, don't make me work too hard. You feel what I'm saying? If I come close to you, that means I want you to freaking touch me. We had a moment, I'm sorry. If I high five you, go with it. If I sweat on you, let's just work it out. You feel what I'm saying? If I come towards you with this right here, that means I'm looking for a freaking high five. Is this all right? Can we have fun? Say, oh yeah. I looks like that fun. But no, seriously, watch this. I want you to know that whatever your dream is, whatever your industry is, your wildest dreams can come true right in front of your face. Does that make sense? All this stuff that we do is not hype. If you apply it, you can live your dreams right in front of your face. Because guess what? Isn't it true, y'all? We can do all the calisthenics, but internally have an unconscious critic that says, yeah, it's great for them, but is it really going to happen in my own life? Can I get one high achiever to say, oh yeah? How many of y'all realize that sometimes we struggle, right? Even sometimes we'll go to church on a Sunday and believe that we can do everything, and then go back home. By the time you get to the third red light, you don't even remember what your pastor said. Because your subconscious mind, you've got way more past in you than you do present. So what happens is your past constantly tells you what you can't make happen. Am I right about it? That's why Tony changed the name of his program. It used to be called what? Neuro-linguistic programming. He studied that, mastered that, and then changed it to what, y'all? Neuro-associative conditioning. Because he said you can be programmed for something, but you're not executed on a regular basis until you make it conditioned. That's the difference. Does that make sense? You can program a computer for 10 years ago, but if you want to condition a computer, you're constantly updating it over and over again. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. That's why I'm so proud of you guys. 36 straight months of meetings. Y'all, that's absolutely remarkable. Put your hands together for yourselves. That's amazing. We got some Danielsons up in the room, right? And then regardless of your industry, regardless of what it is that you do, I want you to understand that if you commit your life to being, write this down, a lifelong learner, if you commit your life to being a lifelong learner, there is nothing you can't accomplish, there's nothing you can't achieve. And your wildest dreams are gonna come true right in front of your face. Now, we're all here for somebody very, very special. And that's the dude that transforms all of our lives with his content, with his message, with his material. Would you agree with that? Say, oh yeah. Absolutely remarkable. The impact this guy makes is absolutely crazy, right? I've been studying his voice for years. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever stopped to think beyond the energy, beyond all that stuff, what is the skill that he utilizes in order to transform people all around the world? What is it? Knowledge, yes, but what is it? Speaking. I've gone to all kinds of Tony Robbins enthusiast groups, which is awesome, because I drunk the Kool-Aid. Y'all, I'm family. I'm right there with you. I was in the back jumping and shouting, right? I've been to all the only thing he's offered that I've never been to, I have not done business mastery and I haven't done platinum, but I got tons of platinum friends, right? Does that make sense? Those are the only two things I've been through his whole funnel. You feel me? So I drunk the freaking Kool-Aid. Love it. Had every product on that table. Wore it out. I'm right there with you, Ricardo. I bought a Lexus that had a cassette tape in it. What? Because it's some old school Zig Ziglar stuff, it's some old school Augmentino stuff, it's some old school stuff. You cannot get Marianne Williamson stuff that you can't get on iPod, iTunes. You feel me? I'm an old school guy. Can you feel that already? I'm what they call an old soul. We're going to have fun today. It's going to be awesome. But if you think about it, the skill that he's mastered that has brought all of us together today is the skill of speaking. And his ability to get on stage and freaking crush it. Are y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. That's why people come from all over the world. So let me ask you a question. If you adopt the morning priming, great. If you start taking wheatgrass in the morning because you go to Life Mastery, which I went to, right? And you start doing colonics, great, right? I did all that, right? You know what I'm saying? If you start adopting all the things that he teaches, great. And you know the triad, great. But if we do all that and we don't emulate and model the greatest skill set that he does every single day, whether he's on television, come on somebody, podcasts, right? TED, doesn't matter where he's at, he's using his gift of speaking to transform freaking lives. Are y'all feeling me? Say, oh yeah. And that's what I do for a living. Not only do I do it, but I train, coach, and develop people who want to become expert communicators. So that way you can run in your industry and be killer at it and crush the daggum thing. Because write this down, average is dead. If you want to be average today, you will be broke. I don't care what your industry is. I don't care what your business is. You want to make more money, you got to be extraordinary. Are y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. Average is forgotten. Average doesn't get people to come back to see you. And the truth is, as soon as you do anything well, what happens? People are going to come to you and ask you to talk about how you do what you do so well. Then you're going to have to teach how you do what you do so well. Are you with me? Say, oh yeah. What does every president do once they're done being president? Go around the country and talk. What does every athlete do after they've done with their amazing career and they retire? Go around and talk. They write books and they talk. Are you with me? Say, oh yeah. So I want you to say this after me. Say, I am a powerful communicator. You got to own that. While you're here being a firewalker, I want to teach you how to become a stage crusher. Come on, somebody. Y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. I want you to learn how to become a certified freaking hashtag stage crusher. Don't laugh at me. Leave me alone. All right. So listen, like I said, I drank all the Kool-Aid, been to all the events, got all the workbooks. Anybody got all the workbooks? Say, oh yeah, right? I got the workbook, go through all the workbooks, et cetera, et cetera. But you got to ask yourself this question. When I get the knowledge, now what am I going to do with it? And who am I now responsible to share it with? Does that make sense? Yeah. Write this down as an intention. I have, write it down and say it as you write it. We're going to do this together. Write and say. Say, I have a responsibility to everybody who's not blessed to get the knowledge I have. You have a responsibility to everybody who's not blessed to get the knowledge and exposure that you have. Whatever you know, you now have an obligation to teach it to someone. You have a responsibility. Well, Del Toro, what do you mean by that? I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm so glad. Are y'all enjoying this so far? Say, oh yeah. Let me ask you a quick question. What percentage of the world has a college degree? How many of y'all in this room have a college degree? Throw your hand way up, right? All right, cool. So look at the percentage here. We've got about 50% that's got a college degree. So what percentage of the country would you say has a college degree? 25%. Love it. What percentage of the world has a college degree? 13%, right? Love that. Write this down. 1% of the planet has a college degree. 1% of the globe has a college education. Well, Del Toro, what the heck does that mean? Spider-Man said it in his movie. Much power, much responsibility. If you have a college degree, that puts you in the top 1% of the world's population. That's awesome. That gives you a lot of power. But to whom much is given, much is required. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. Which means we have an obligation to the 99% of humanity who's not fortunate enough to have a college degree. And guess what? One of the best ways to share what you know is by presenting what you know. And the good thing is that every single one of us have a stages. I want you to write that down. Say, I have a stage. Write it down and say it. I have a stage. Why do I make you write? Why do I make you talk? Because adult learners retain more when you say it. Adult learners retain more when you do it. Adult learners retain more when you write it. Does that make sense? If we journal when life is shitty, we need to journal when life is amazing. And if we're in this room together, y'all, on a Saturday morning when we could do a million other things, we're blessed as heck. Are y'all with me? Somebody say, oh yeah, put your hands together for that. Isn't that awesome? We're blessed as heck, y'all. So we all have a responsibility and an obligation to use our voice to change worlds because all of us have stages. The dining room table is a stage. Facebook Live now is what? A stage. Are you with me? Yes. Periscope, a stage. These are all stages you have. YouTube is a stage. We all have more stages. Podcasting is a stage. A one-on-one business meeting with a colleague at Panera Bread is a what, y'all? It's a stage. This is a stage. And I take this gig as seriously as if I was in front of 10,000 people making 15 grand for 1 hour of my time. And I came here dressed up to sweat and hang out with y'all for free. Are you with me? Because y'all are my new DFW family, right? Very good. That's what it's all about. We're going to rock out and do this thing together. But I want to be a living, breathing example that your wildest dreams are possible. And they can happen right in front of your face. And you can kill it and slay it and crush it and still be humble as you do it. Does that make sense? Why succeed and be arrogant? Does that make sense? Write this down. Not all money is good money. Not all money is good money. You don't want everybody's money. There should be certain people's money you turn down. There should be certain clients that you fire. There should be certain people you say, you know what, I don't want to work with you. When you go in for a job interview, you need to interview them just as much as they're interviewing you because your time is worth way more than money. People have lied to you all your life. You were taught that time is money. That's bull crap. Time is worth money, but your time is worth a whole lot more than your money. Does that make sense? So we say, oh yeah. Everyone y'all in this room are wealthier than Michael Jackson is today. Michael Jackson didn't get a chance to see today. Michael Jackson couldn't come up and jump it up. He's gone. You're blessed. You're wealthier than he is right now. Somebody say, oh yeah. Isn't that powerful? If you process that for a nanosecond, it'll change your life. Are y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. So I'm excited. We're gonna have a good time today. This is gonna be fun. So listen. I didn't realize that when I went to DFW, when I went to Date with Destiny. Sorry, DFW, Date with Destiny. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where I'm from and the daggum event is going through my head right now at the same time. It's crazy. When I went to Date with Destiny, I didn't know they were filming I'm Not Your Guru. And so the one I went to in Florida, they were filming I'm Not Your Guru. So when I'm Not Your Guru came out, man, my Facebook blew up and my phone blew up. They're like, dude, you're in the freaking movie. I'm like, where? And I watched it and I'm like in it like 6 different, I don't have a talking role, but I'm in it like 6 different times. So like that's me like right there. I'm not sure if this little thingy works, but yeah, that's me right there. Like this is when the girl calls the dude on the cell phone and breaks up with him. Have you seen that? That's me right there like applauding. It's crazy. So and you'll see me like 6 different times throughout the documentary. If you look for me, you'll see me. Does that make sense? It's just like breakthroughs. If you look for them, they're everywhere. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Say, oh yeah. That was a crazy, sick, powerful event. OMG. If you haven't been to Date with Destiny, gotta go. I'm not a paid representative. I'm just telling you, It's gangster awesome. You'll love it. It'll change your life. All right, y'all feel me? So we're going to rock out and have a good time today. Listen, I want to dedicate today's presentation to my two girls. This is Miracle. This is Hope. I love the fact that the kids come to this program. I think that's incredible. So when I have my girls up here next time, I'm going to have them come to a meeting. We're going to rock out and have a good time. Oh, raise the roof. Oh. So, this is my mom. She's my best friend. She passed away April 30th, 2013, 3 years ago. I lost my best friend, my mentor, my coach. My mom was way more than a parent. She groomed me from this high. People ask me all the time, I'm gonna tell you my story how I got in the industry. I'm gonna tell you my story how I got started. Because many of y'all are gonna Google me when you leave here and you're like, shit, that dude was he was here? Right. So anyway, do that later. But I just wanna kind of help you understand something. It always blows my mind. I'll leave an event and then people will check me out later and then they'll inbox, why didn't you tell me that you were gonna be here today? Why didn't you tell me here's number one question I can't answer, Ricardo. Why didn't you tell me you were going to be that good? Shit, I don't know. What am I supposed to say to you? Hey, what's going on? I'm Del Toro. I'm going to be freaking awesome today. Am I supposed to say that to people? No, you come in and do your job. Does that make sense? When was the last time you told a dog, great job for barking? I'm here to do what I'm called to do. Ooh, did you catch that? I don't expect applause for doing what I was born to do. That's what keeps you humble. I'll change your whole life. Did you catch that? I turned the corner, half y'all fell off. Come on, somebody. Did you catch that? You have no right to be arrogant about your gift because your gift has nothing to do with you. Footnote, has nothing to do with this presentation. When was the last time you saw an apple tree eat its own apples? When was the last time you looked at an orange tree and you saw the orange tree reach down, grab one of its own oranges and eat it? The fruit that falls off a tree was never meant to benefit the tree. That'll change your whole, are you even with me? Say, oh yeah. The fruit that falls off of a tree was never meant to benefit the tree. So the fruit that falls off of your life has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that you were gifted to do certain things to bless humanity. Does that make sense? And this world is meant to be better because you lived and because you figured out what the hell it was and you started rocking that joint out. You with me? Say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. So my mom grew me from this age to start speaking and presenting. I used to get all the longest parts in the Easter play and the Christmas play. I used to have to play Jesus and Moses and Abraham. I never got like one-liners. I always got like 6 pages of notes. I'm like, oh my, you freaking kidding me? And when I was in the 4th and 5th grade, how many of y'all remember in school, we're just having an honest conversation as friends here, right? How many of y'all remember in school, like that terrifying moment when your teacher asked you to read out loud? Anybody ever get that? I hated reading out loud because everybody knows if you make a freaking mistake, you feel what I'm saying? To this day, that's not my strength. I don't like reading out loud. So when I was in the 4th and 5th grade, you know what I would do? I would memorize the paragraph. I'd say, okay, I'm 4 students back. I would memorize the little paragraph that was mine. My man said me too, right? And then I would like recite it, right? So that early gift, this early dyslexia, if you will, right? Made me act out in school. And so they put me in a room full of all at-risk kids. So in the 6th grade, I was in a room full of all dumb kids. They said, you guys aren't gonna be much of anything. Isn't that crazy? I was written off early. Now, had you told me in the 6th grade that the story I'm telling you right now would make it to the main platform of Lakewood Church and Joel Osteen would tell my story to 20,000 people 3 times on a Sunday and 20 million people on Sirius XM satellite radio, I'd say you're lying to me. Please write this down. Never discount the power of your own story. Never discount the power of your own story. So I'm labeled an at-risk youth in the 5th and 6th grade, told academically I'm not going to amount to much of anything. This is the part of the presentation when the roller coaster is going up like this, clink, 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 clink. Trust me, when we get to the top, we're going to go, all this other kind of stuff. Make sense? But we're just building something. Is that okay? Say, oh yeah. This is going to be so fun. I'm so excited for you guys. Are you enjoying it already? Say, oh yeah. And I'm going to ask you for breakthroughs in a moment because there's breakthroughs everywhere if you look for them. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. So guess what? I'm in the 6th grade, the first day of class, my 6th grade teacher walks up to me, she says, son, you're not a youth at risk, you're a youth at promise. And she says, I'm not just gonna teach you this year, I'm gonna mentor you this year. So at recess, you're gonna have half the time with your friends, and the other half the time, you're gonna sit next to me, and I'm gonna teach you about life. The first lesson she taught me is that as soon as you were dropped to this earth, your potential took off ahead of you, and the whole race of life is about you catching up with yourself not the Joneses. She said the whole race of life, she said the moment that you were dropped on this earth, your potential took off ahead of you. And she said the whole race of life is about you catching up with yourself, not the Joneses. See, I believe many of us spend money we don't have to buy things we don't need to impress people we really don't even like. Isn't that right? All because we're taught to keep up with the Joneses. I still have not met the Joneses. They're broke too. Come on, somebody, y'all with me? And when I show you some of the things we've been able to accomplish in our speaking career and some of the things we've been able to help so many other people accomplish as well, I want you to understand this started with a dude that was put in a class full of stupid kids. Does that make sense? So any of y'all who've ever self-doubted yourself, throw your hand way up, say aye. Anybody ever not believe fully in yourself, say aye. Anybody ever look in the mirror and doubt that person looking back, say aye. Anybody ever question your gifts or talents or skills, say aye. Anybody say, I don't necessarily have the pedigree to do what I'm trying to do, say aye. Been there, done that. T-shirt, keychain. And I'm sitting here telling you that you can still make it and be successful. I got the bear, I got everything. Come on, somebody. Why are y'all laughing at me? I'm starting to get a little concerned about the laughing. Is it a laugh with or an at? It's a with? Okay, good. You're my Florida connection. That's why I'm staying close to you. You feel what I'm saying? It's called certainty. You know what I'm saying? I like to have fun. Anyway, so let's rock out. So let's go over some expectations. First of all, I'm going to model for you what I'm going to teach you to do as we go throughout today's presentation. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh, yeah. So expect me for a model for you. Number 2, I want you to interact, holler back, and take crazy notes. Number 3, look for large and small breakthroughs. Here's what that means. Who's already gotten a breakthrough from this morning's presentation already? Yes, ma'am. Give me one breakthrough. Stand up. Holler at it. Put your hands together for it, right, y'all? Everything? Massive breakthrough. A breakthrough you've already gotten. What's your name, sweetie?
Susan.
Hey, Susan. How are you?
Good.
Breakthrough already.
The same that you said, the fruit that falls off the tree was never meant to benefit the tree.
The fruit that falls off of your life was never meant to benefit you, which means we got to be humble in everything that we do, knowing that our gifts, come on, somebody, come from the soil that allows us to pull those nutrients up to do what we do. Powerful. I love that. Massive breakthrough already. Give me a massive breakthrough already. If you look for them, they're all over the place. Some of y'all are already on second page worth of notes. Breakthrough already. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Talk to us. What's your name?
Dana.
Stand up. How are you?
Hi. That everybody has a stage, and I have a group of people that I work with at work that I'm their supervisor, so it's my job to, that's my stage, and we have our nephews living with us that are struggling with life, so that's our stage as well.
Fantastic. We all have a stage. Say it back. We all have a stage. We all got a stage. Whether big stage, small stage, medium stage, etc. We all got a stage. Footnote. I want to give it up to my main man who's doing audio visual in the back. Put your hands together for him. He's killing it, right? So watch this. Because I'm a brother. Hello, right? Every time I take selfies, I always tell people, I'm a brother. I'm going to need you to turn your flash on. You feel what I'm saying? My man put up an extra light. Because the brother need a flash. I love it. It's making me sweat well, but I love it. No, it's all... You gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. All right, so watch this. When I say I'm gonna model for you all day long, who can tell me what I did when I took a break from the story to talk about the tree? What did I do in my presentation in that moment? Who can tell me what? Yes, talk to us. Slow down. Change pace, change tone. Make sense? Say, oh yeah. And when I took a break in the story, where did my physiology go? I went down, I came back, I pulled back. Does that make sense? Very intentional. Does that make sense? You can't just study what a person says content-wise. You need to study context, why they do what they do. Does that make sense? There's a reason why a hand goes on a shoulder and not a knee. Hello, are you feeling what I'm saying? Right? You got to be careful. Hello, right? There's a reason why I only look at people for less than 3 or 4 seconds. Anything longer than that begins to get weird. Okay? She's already fallen in love, just that quick. It's done. 5 seconds, she's already in love. It's just that quick. You feel what I'm saying? It's a joke. But one of the things you have to learn in presentation is how to have sweeping. Have I favored one side of the room? All over, right? Very intentional. These are all things that I want you to be picking up as you begin to prepare and present and deliver so you can freaking crush it. Does that make sense? Very good. If I say, raise your hand, where does my hand go? Up in the air, because I want you to model what I'm doing. Does that make sense? If I say yes, if Ricardo says, say yes, his physiology is enrolling you. It's called enrolling. Write that down. Anytime you see this kind of physiology, this is all about raising, and it's enrolling your audience into what you're doing. Isn't that cool? Say, oh yeah. Come on, somebody. That's right. All right. So expect that, y'all. We're going to rock out, have a good time. And we're also going to make this clicker work, right? Expect content to bleed. Here's what that means. I'm not going to wait till we get to storytelling to talk about storytelling. Have I already told a story? Say, oh yeah. Did I tell a 16-hour story? Hell no. Get to the freaking point. Never tell a story without making a point. Why are y'all laughing at me? Y'all, you kill me. You kill me. You cannot tell, if you got 15 minutes on stage, you can't tell a 12-minute story. Because the truth is, can I be honest with you? Say, oh yeah. Audiences don't care about your story. Write that down. I'll change your life if you let me. Audiences don't care about your story. They only care about your story to the degree, listen to me carefully, they only care about your story to the degree to which your story benefits who? Them. Audiences are selfish. They listen to the same radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? It's the truth. So what was the point of me telling you the story of me being in 6th grade? To make the connection between, of what? How did I make it relevant to you? Somebody tell me, talk to me. This is a classroom. Yes.
You can come from anywhere.
You can come from anywhere. You can have any background. Yes, ma'am. What else?
Someone can tell you can't, but you move through that.
People can tell you that you can't, but you can push past that. What else was I teaching you in that story? Yes, sir. I'll call on you even if you don't raise your hand. I love it. Yes.
You were relating just right to me because I feel I was in, those shoes, disadvantaged youth.
Yeah.
Troubled, not going to make it.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Good. So he said, I was relating to him. I can remember. Yes, ma'am. Talk to me real quick. Why did I tell that story?
Labels. Yeah, we're always labeled something. At young ages. Sometimes those labels will affect our direction in life.
Has anybody in this room ever been labeled anything? Divorced? Come on, somebody. Laid off, fired, broke. How many of y'all have given yourself labels? We've all done it, right? I've done it. Hello, right? But we got to learn how to outgrow those labels and put a brand new label on us. A label that builds us, that doesn't pull us back. You feel me? Say, oh yeah. So when I talk about content bleeding, what I mean by that is I'm not going to wait to get to a subject to talk about it. So we're going to talk about all of it. Y'all feel me? Say, oh yeah. And we're going to run the game. We're going to have a good time. What's your name, bro? Byron, I appreciate your energy, man. You're rocking out. Thank you, man. Oh, sure. Glad you're here, man. He's like, in it with me. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Let's do the daggone thing. We good? All right, cool. Right, now, leave ego at the door. If I ask you to come up and do something, just kind of flow with me. All right, I know we're all blessed and fortunate, but let's leave ego at the door. Next thing I want you to understand is I want you to be a fast action taker. If I ask for a volunteer, get up here and participate, right? Because when I finish this presentation, I think maybe during lunch, we might do a cool little thing where I ask some of y'all to present and I critique you on the spot. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? So he said, let's freaking do the daggone thing. I'm excited. Woo! All right, let's have a blast. And let's remember that most adults do not need to be taught. We need to be reminded. So sometimes when I share stuff like open body close, or I talk to you about gestures, or I talk to you about something that you might have heard before as it relates to public speaking, understand that I'm not saying it from the standpoint of the fact you've never heard it. Most adults do not need to be taught. We need to be reminded. So I want you to ask yourself this question. Is there something I need to start doing? Is there something I need to stop doing? Is there something I need to continue doing? Catch that? Ricardo, that was fire, wasn't it, bro? What do I need to start doing in my presentations? What do I need to stop doing in my presentations? And what do I need to continue doing in my presentations? Bam. I love that, dude. I got them exact shoes. Y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. Is this good or good, y'all? Thanks so much for my self-esteem is in the toilet. It was like crickets. I'm like, what the heck? Look for the green star. The green star is where all the mega content slides are. So I'll put the green star on the mega slides. Y'all feel me? Say, oh yeah. So if it's not a mega slide, you don't have to take mega notes, but you're gonna learn to take notes on everything. Why? Because I take a lot of parentheticals. You feel me? We're gonna rock out and have a good time. I love it. Yay! And understand that I'm still learning and growing just like you. So I'm gonna learn from you as you share. And as we do this thing together, I think we're gonna create an incredible experience together as a family. Y'all with me? Is it okay for me to learn from you as you learn from me? Does that sound like a deal? That's why I need your participation, because your smiles, your energy, your note-taking, your sitting up, your physiology tells me a whole lot about you, and it helps me rock out at the next level. You feel me? Let's go. I'm excited. Yay! All right. If I was to ask you to open this, what's the first thing you would ask me?
What is the combination
What is the combination? Why would you not ask me for the key? Because it's the combination lock. Watch this, right? Exactly. What you say? Right. Let me get the bolt cutters and cut this thing off, right? Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard that around the world. I love that. That's gangster. But think about it. Why wouldn't you ask me for the key? The reason why you wouldn't ask me for the key is because you know that this is a combination lock. And there's no one thing that will fix it. There's no one thing that will open it. Here's what I've learned about presentation skills and speaking. There's no one solution to anything. In success, in parenting, in leadership, in relationships, in business, in entrepreneurship, and finally, there's no one, it's a combination approach. It means you gotta do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Y'all with me? Let's do it together. When I move, you move. A little bit of this, come on somebody, and a little bit of that. Come on, give me some. A little bit of this, right? And a little bit of that. I love that. You got to have a combination approach. So I'm going to teach you a combo today that you'll be able to use to unlock better presentation excellence. Y'all feel me? Say, oh yeah. This is going to be like an appetizer because I could go for days and weeks on this content. But I just want to share some things with you that would be powerful for you, take us to the next level. Now, this dude right here, when you think about what makes him so effective, what comes up in your mind? Let's just holler out. What makes him so effective? Why does his content reach you? Why does what he does reach you? I just want you to throw it out. We're going to list like 7 or 8 things. I've had a flip chart to write them down, but we're going to write them down together as we yell them out. Make sense? This is a shouted out activity. What makes him so effective? Huh? Listener. He listens. Let's write that down. If you want to be a great speaker, listen more. Listen to your audience. Feel where they are. Feel when they're getting bored as hell with your content and change it up. Tell a joke. If they look bored, tell a joke. You feel me? If they're not engaged, not paying attention, lean on them. No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking with you, right? Right? What else? What else do we admire about him? Huh? Practiced, okay? He's rehearsed. This is not a new rodeo. He's done this over and over and over. You want to be a great speaker? Practice more. Get in a really good Toastmasters club. A really, really good club. Not a whack club. You need to go out there and pimp Toastmasters. I teach my students that. Because here's the problem. I'll tell everybody, go to Toastmasters. I tell audiences all around the world, get in a good Toastmasters club. They'll go to one club and it just happens to be the most boring club they've ever been to in their life. Oh, Toastmasters doesn't work. It's a great organization. You got to find a club that works. You find a good club, that club will kick your butt. Y'all feel me? Say, oh yeah. And it'll help you get presentation tight fast because you can practice every week. You feel me? Say, oh yeah. So you want to be successful as a speaker, find a mentor and find a Toastmasters club. Hopefully I can be that mentor in your life. Sound good? Say, oh yeah. Find a mentor who can teach you the game, and then find a club where you can practice every week, right? He's practiced. What else makes him incredible? His energy, incredible energy. You want to kick butt? Bring the energy. I'm going to talk to you about what energy means when we get a little bit deeper into this presentation, but you got to bring the energy for whatever energy means to you. Does that make sense? Marianne Williamson has one energy, right? Ayanna Van Sant has a different energy. Would you agree? Say, oh yeah. Joel Osteen has one energy. T.D. Jakes has a completely different energy. But they're both energy, they're both high energy for what they do in their own personality styles. Does that make sense? So I'm not asking you to be demonstrative. I'm asking you to be you. But for whatever energy is to you, be that. You feel me? Be passionate about what you talk about. What else makes them incredible? Consistency. I like that. I need to be able to bank on you as a presenter. Don't be good on Monday and whack on Wednesday. You feel me? You got to be good all the time. You're as good as your last talk. You're as good as your last stage. In business, you're as good as your last customer, how you treated your last customer. You want to grow in business? Take care of all your customers. It's 10 times easier to take care of an existing customer than it is to go out and market and brand for a brand new customer. Are y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. Absolutely. What else makes them incredible? What else, y'all? Passion, charismatic, okay? What does charisma mean? What is charisma? Likability factor. Are you likable? At the end of the day, people want to watch somebody who looks likable, who looks approachable. In other words, that means you can't have the RBF, the resting bitch face. I want you to ask your friends an honest question. When I'm not smiling, do I look like a bitch? Because the truth is, honestly, you need somebody to tell you the honest truth. And it's a real thing. You can Google it. It's called the RBF. And what body language studies have shown is that a lot of people lose business, lose opportunities, lose connections because they have an RBF and they don't know it. An RBF is a resting bitch face. That means when you're not being talked to by someone you know, your resting face is one of do not freaking approach me. And you're repelling opportunities everywhere around you every day because someone won't come up to you and say, smile more. This is such good stuff. Oh my gosh. Y'all came to a freaking masterclass this morning. Are y'all feeling to say, oh yeah? I'm locked and loaded. I'm in first gear. I haven't even gotten out of the parking garage yet. This is fun. Are y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. Is this making sense? Yes. Turn to your neighbor. Say, just do this. Say, neighbor. Just shake your head and do it. Say, neighbor. Tell me the truth. Do I have an RBF? Very good. All right? If you do, smile more, right? Smile more for no reason. You burn more calories when you smile. Does that make sense? You ain't got to do as many crunches and many planks if you smile more. As many. I didn't say don't do them. I said you don't have to do as many. All right? So smile more. Is this good or good, y'all? All right, so I'm gonna teach you a couple of, I'm gonna teach you I have a 12-step blueprint. Of course, I can't get into all this right now, right? But I'm gonna teach you 4 of these 12 steps today. This is my 12-step blueprint for platform mastery, okay? That's how you crush the stage. So the first thing you do is you have to structure a killer keynote presentation. At the end of the day, no matter what product or service we offer, we have to structure what I like to call a killer keynote presentation, which is something that you can deliver at the drop of a dime. Every one of you, no matter your business, no matter your industry, need to be able to get up in front of a Rotary, or a Kiwanis, a Chambers Club, right? A meetup group, et cetera, a room full of your peers, and speak with conviction and passion and clarity about what you know. I don't care what your industry is. It doesn't matter. You don't have to, listen, do not confuse the industry with the skill set. Say that back. Do not confuse the industry with the skill set. What do you mean by that, Del Toro? Don't look at me and say, well, I don't know if I should learn from Del Toro because I don't want to necessarily be a full-time speaker. That's not the point. That's the industry. You need the skill. Networking is a skill. Leadership is a skill. You feel me? Say, oh yeah. Money management, time management, these are skills. Punctuality is a skill. Presentation skills is a skill that you need to be more effective in business. Oh yeah? Good stuff. I love it. I like to dance, just so don't judge me. All right, number 2, you have to be able to master the communication model. You need to be able to master the communication model. In other words, you need to understand the difference between the sender and the receiver, the noise and the channel. Okay, so if you want to be effective as a speaker, you got to understand that. Number 3, you have to leverage audience psychology. There's a reason why effective speakers are effective, and that's because they understand their audience. Have you ever noticed the fact that even with Tony Robbins, what does he make you do before you go to an event? Fill out a what? A questionnaire. And guess what? All of his leaders read those, and then his leaders debrief him on the results. Why is that important? He wants to know his audience. Even if it's 5,500 people from 80 countries around the world, he wants to know his audience. So you have to understand audience psychology. Number 4, you need to be authentic and real. What's going to increase your likability factor is being the same person off stage as you are on stage. How many of y'all have met people who you were mesmerized by on stage, and then when you met them off stage, they were hideous? And it completely deflated their brand. Does that make sense? Your brand is who you are authentically, period. Does that make sense? Be the same person on stage as you are off stage. Be honest with people. Be real with people. You know what's going to help you connect with audiences more? Take yourself off the pedestal that they put you on. Because if you're the speaker, guess what? You're the it person. Awesome. But people like to do business with people that they know, like, and what? Trust. Trust goes up when I know some of your business. I didn't ask you to tell me about your childhood. I told you about mine first. Why? To create trust. To set up a scenario to help you understand, hey, I'm not perfect. I don't have it all together. I've been through some stuff. You with me? My bio's incredible. It's sick, y'all. But it didn't come without what? Pain and failure. I failed my way to success. And you'll do the same thing. Y'all with me? Yes. Anybody else ever failed your way to where you are right now? Anybody done anything right perfect? No. Hello, right? Me neither. We've all been through bumps and bruises. But the reason why we're here is because we didn't stop. We didn't freaking give up. And that's what makes us dadgummit gladiators. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Say, oh yeah. Are you kidding me? That's what makes us overcomers and champions. What? Say something to me. Ow! I love it. You got to keep the ow going. I'm going to travel with her. If you want to be successful as a stage crusher, you have to understand that there is a B2B conversation that you have to master. Because one of the things that keeps people from being successful is that they don't understand how to have the B2B client conversation. What do you mean by that? Before I got in front of all y'all, I had to have a conversation with two people, Amy and Ricardo. And we had to be able to talk business to better understand the needs of this audience so that I could come up here and do what I could do for you all. Does that make sense? Now, what I'm talking to you all about is different what I talked to them about. Because I had to have a business-to-business conversation with them to get in front of this room. Does that make sense? Before Tony got on the stage at Oprah's event, there was a business-to-business conversation with his people and her people. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. So before you get on any stage, you got to know how to have that business-to-business conversation with the people that are going to put you in front of that audience. Does that make sense? Can you all do me a favor and think of an ideal audience? That if I put you in front of 100 people of your ideal audience, that would grow your business, that would give you that would take you to the next level, even in terms of maybe your corporate position or your profession or whatever. Can you think of who that audience would be? An ideal customer, an ideal group of people that you'd want to be in front of, whether it's moms, right? Whether it's entrepreneurs, right? Whether it's people in ministry. We all have an ideal audience. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's your ideal audience? Who's your ideal customer? In order to get in front of your ideal customer, you got to know how to master that B2B conversation. It's good stuff. This is so good. I hope you're enjoying this. Oh, I'm having fun teaching it. Rhetorical sensitivity. You got to develop rhetorical sensitivity. Now, some of you are like, well, what the heck is rhetorical sensitivity? I'm so glad you asked. Rhetorical sensitivity is your ability to sense where an audience is and adjust in the moment. I've been using rhetorical sensitivity this entire time. There's certain slides that I've taken longer on than others. There's certain points that I've taken longer on than others. Why? Because I'm sensing this room and I'm sensing who needs what. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. How many of y'all have ever prepared to deliver something and then you got in front of the group and you realized that the group needed something different than what you had prepared? At the end of the day, write this down, y'all. It's not about getting through all your slides. It's about giving that audience what they need in the moment. It's not about getting through all your slides. It's about being present with that audience to give them what they need in the moment. You with me? I want you to be prepared, but then I want you to be present. Ooh, did you catch that? That's good right there. Be prepared, but what's more important than being prepared? When you get there, you got to be what? You got to be present with that group. Any parents in the room? Any parents ever plan something for your kids? I'm a dad, I'm a parent too, right? And then you get with them, and what you planned is not what they want to do? Y'all with me? And you're like, crap. And how many of y'all realize that just chucking your plan and being present with what they wanted was the greatest gift you could ever give them? Isn't that awesome, y'all? Yeah, say it again. That works for single people too, right? Yeah. You can prepare all you want to, but when you get there, you got to be present in the moment. I heard this proverb a long time ago. It's changed my whole life. You with me? You know what it says? Be where your feet are. That'll change your whole life. Be where your feet are. So if your feet are here at this event, be here. Don't let your mind be back at work. Don't let your mind be back on something on voicemail. Don't let your mind be back on something on the internet you got to address later on. Be where your feet are. Be present. Does that make sense? Put the phone down. Hello, you with me? Yeah. There's nothing worse than going to a nice restaurant and seeing the Casper the Ghost effect. Have you all seen that? The two people at the restaurant, they're at a great restaurant, and they're both on their phones, so you see the blue screen reflecting off their face, right? And they're like, I'm gonna have the salmon. What are you gonna have? I think I'm gonna have the lobster. And they're texting each other what the hell they're gonna order. What is this? We've lost being present. What makes Tony so incredible is that he's present. Does that make sense? What's gonna make you an expert stage crusher is being present with your audience. There's nowhere else around the world that I'd rather be than in this room with every one of y'all right freaking now. And I could be a lot of places. You feel me? Say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Be where your feet are. And absorb everything from that moment that moment has to gift you. Did you write that down? Absorb from that moment everything that moment has to, did I say give you? No, gift you. Powerful stuff, y'all. This is good. I'm enjoying this. I love the training. All right, number 7, incorporate platform neurolinguistics. Love that, NLP. With integrity, at that. There's a whole bunch of people out there that know neurolinguistic programming and they use it to manipulate people for the negative. You want to learn how to use NLP, neurolinguistic programming, for the positive. And you want to do it with integrity. Does that make sense? It happens. It's been happening all morning. It's a part of the way we do this program. There's NLP built in. Does that make sense? Getting you to say yes is a part of NLP. Right? Puts you in state. Why is being in state important? Because you make different decisions in state than you do out of state. Make sense? NLP is basically helping people bypass the what? The conscious critic to make suggestions to the subconscious mind so that people change faster. That's it. Because we all know we want to change. Problem is getting past that freaking gatekeeper. You want to be a millionaire, right? But your gatekeeper's like, hell no. What? Whatever. So we got to put that dude to sleep. We got to put that chick to sleep so that we can make some real powerful wealth suggestions to the subconscious mind. Are y'all with me? That's what it is. It's good stuff. All right. Number 8, using visual aids, props. I'm going to bring these in so you can write them all down because there's 12 of them. I'm trying to click it. All right, cool. Platform neurolinguistics. Number 8, using visual aids, props, and illustrations. You see this happen. Before Tony makes you walk on fire, what does he do? He shows it to you, right? Right? Kumas, 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 right? He shows you, he gives you the metaphor of what? A fireplace. Why? Because a fireplace is comforting. You're not afraid of fire when it's in a fireplace. That's NLP. That's using metaphors and analogies, which is number 10. He gave you the metaphor of a fireplace. That's comforting, that's soothing, so that when your feet are touching 1,000-degree coals, it feels comforting to you. Nice and cozy, that's right. Kumas, 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 right? Number 9, be an awesome storyteller. Be an awesome storyteller. You want to be an incredible speaker? The reason why you love the TED Talks you love is because they tell great stories. And they're quick. They get to the point. You should be able to tell a story in a minute. Time yourself. Write that down. Start timing yourself. How long did it take me to tell that daggum story? Did it take me 7 minutes of my 10 minutes to tell the story? Sit down. And if you have a 5-minute story, I need you to take 5 breaks in those 5 minutes and pull the audience back in. I'm going to say that again. If you got a 5-minute story, I want you to take 5 breaks in that story to pull the audience in. What that means is that you pause telling the story and you say, hey, can you relate? Have you ever had a time when? Does that make sense to you? Et cetera, right? You enroll them back in, then you jump back into the story and start telling another 30 seconds of it. Make sense? Never tell a story from start to finish. Interrupt your own story to enroll the audience, because audiences do not what? Care about your what? Story. They care about how your story does what? Benefits them. Do they like you as a person? Sure. Kumbaya, great, love it. How does this benefit me? Right? Important stuff. You want to be a great storyteller. You want to use metaphors and analogies. Powerful stuff. Why does he show you fire? Unleash the power within. What's his favorite mantra? Live with what? Passion. Passion is what? Fire burning in your heart. It's a metaphor. There's a reason why all this stuff is done. So you want to learn how to use metaphors and analogies so that way people get what you're trying to say in a different way, in a different capacity. Does that make sense? Yeah. Powerful stuff. I love it. Yay, we're having a good time. You want to learn how to speak in sound bites too. Why is that important? Speaking in sound bites means saying what you got to say faster. Why? We live in a social media world. We live in an internet world where you got to be sound bite tight. How many of y'all have already gotten like 15 quotes from me already? Like sick one-liners. Y'all feel me? Say, oh yeah. If you was on Twitter, it'd be over. What? Say something else. Why? Because I've gotten soundbite tight. I know how to say a lot in a short amount of time. That's what you gotta be able to do. You gotta be able to say a lot fast. You need to do it for media. I'm supposed to be going on, what is it? NBC5 next week. That'll be fun. Cool. But I'm going to be soundbite tight when I go on there. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Say, oh, yeah. You got to be quick. You got to get to the point. What are you really trying to say? Your 30-second elevator speech really needs to be more like 15 seconds. Because as a society, our attention span has gone what? Down. It's gone down to 144 characters. When you go to networking functions, never tell people what you do. Ask people, how can you help them? Ask them who in the room you can introduce them to. Add value first, and they'll, watch this. If you add value to somebody first, there's reciprocity built into the relationship, then they want to do business with you. Does that make sense? Powerful stuff. Here's another thing. If you go to networking functions, don't stay long. Make your rounds and bounce. Especially if it's something you go to every month. Why? Because you're going to develop a brand for being someone who's in demand and who values their time. If you get there an hour early and you stay 2 hours late, oh, she's always here. I can talk to her anytime. But if when you walk in the room, they say, okay, he ain't going to be here long. I need to go to get him quick. Does that make sense? And you develop that reputation for being someone who values time. What? In and out. Bam. I know who I need to meet. I'm giving you gold. I'm giving you so much platinum stuff right now. This is gangster. Y'all feel me? Say, oh, yeah. Walk faster. I'm short, but I walk fast. I walk faster than most of y'all in this room. Why? Because my mentor in college was a guy by the name of Dr. Lee Jones. He was short, like I am, but he wore a suit and a bow tie every single day. When I met him, he was 33. He had a bachelor's, 2 masters, and a PhD. I'm like, dang, this dude had 2 Lexuses paid for cash, and his house was paid for, and he was the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Instruction at the College of Education, and he was a speaker. I'm like, whatever the hell you doing, I need to do that. I said, Doc, can you slow down so I can walk with you on campus? He said, no. Busy people, successful people walk fast. Catch up with me, or we don't deal. And so I walk fast today because of Dr. Jones. Walk faster. Value your time more. Does that make sense? I'm not saying be on super tweet. Come on, somebody. I'm going through the Oprah Deep meditation right now. It's phenomenal. And I love the stillness every day. It's incredible. Right? So I'm not saying be on super tweak all the time. What I'm saying is be intentional. You feel me? Say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Value your time. Value other people's time. Time is short. It's precious. It's a wonderful commodity. You feel me? Now, can I give you some more content? Are you enjoying this? Say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you know the speaking industry is a $6 billion industry? $6 billion. Say, wow. If you get 0.0001% of this industry, you'd make 60 grand a year. Not 1% of the industry. 0.00001% of this industry. If you just made that your goal, who could use an extra 60 grand a year? Who the heck couldn't? Come on, somebody. Who could use an extra 60 grand a year by developing a skill that would help you grow and develop and help other people at the same freaking time? Say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't care. Here's what I love about speaking. It allows you to teach and help other people, and you get paid to do something that you would technically do for free. If somebody said, hey, will you come and help an audience of 500 people be better moms? Who's a great mom in this room? Who's an incredible mom? You're a ninja mom. Be honest. You're a freaking gladiator mom. Throw your hand up. Say the daggone thing. Hey, sweetie, how are you?
Great, how are you?
What's your name?
Jackie.
Jackie, how are you, Jackie? You're a ninja mom.
I'm a ninja.
You're
I'm a gladiator.
You're a gladiator mom.
Yeah.
So if I were to ask you as a favor to me, I got 500 moms across the hall, and they've dealt with a lot of this. 70% of them are divorced and blah, 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 single parent, blah, blah, and they just need some help and some encouragement. Wouldn't you, out of the kindness of your heart, go talk to that group for free? Of course. But if I said, you know what, you are known as the mom ninja. Saw your YouTube videos, it was great stuff. We got about $5,000 that we can pay a speaker to come talk to these women because we want these women to join our association and come to every monthly meeting, blah, 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 blah. Are you going to turn down the money to talk to the same group of people? Who's getting the point already? Somebody say, oh, freaking yeah. Who's big into health and fitness and wellness? Okay, right here. So if I said, hey, there's a room full of people who really need your weight loss and weight management strategies, they want to lose those magic 5 like you've lost that as fast as you lost it, would you go talk to them for free? Sure. But if I said I'd pay you $1,500 to go talk to him for 30 minutes, would you take that as well? All day. Are you with me? Yes. I'm trying to help you understand. Y'all sitting here playing games, and you waiting on a big tax return. A tax return is proof that you gave the government too much money throughout the year. Come on, somebody. They used it, made money off of it, gave you the difference. So don't get excited about tax returns. I want you to get more excited about the fact that you can make that money in 30 minutes or less. Just by sharing your story and sharing what you know. Every one of y'all in this room are freaking geniuses. You hear what I'm saying? You wouldn't be in this room if you weren't a genius. Say, I am a genius. I'm a freaking genius. You're a genius at one thing, though. The thing is, you got to figure out what the hell you're a genius at. And when you know what the heck you're a genius at in that one thing, are you with me? When you find out what your remarkable genius is in that one thing, man, and you tell the world about it, you help solve the world problem, and you do it through your genius, man, life's good. We're just having a conversation amongst friends. Is this good or what? Y'all say, oh yeah. I'm just talking to you. That's what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is creating a product or service and putting it in a marketplace that solves a problem and making a profit on it. How many entrepreneurs are in the room? How many want-to-be entrepreneurs are in the room? How many people are working a job and you want to do something entrepreneurial on the side? Who wants to have a side hustle? Come on, somebody, y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. You better get a side hustle. Quick. It's important. You need a side hustle. It has nothing to do with this presentation. I'm just going straight off the hard drive of my heart. Y'all feel me? Say, oh yeah. You need a side hustle. Why do you need a side hustle? At the end of the day, everybody in this room needs to be an entrepreneur. Exactly, right? Why do you need a side hustle? Because at the end of the day, you have a bully that you fight every single day. Let me ask you a question. I asked a question earlier. How many of y'all are parents in the room? Right? And then I asked another question. Now let me ask, I asked that one question. So here's the second part of that question. Anybody as a parent ever had your kid come home from school and tell you that they were dealing with a bully? I've had it happen. If you haven't had it happen, you don't know what it is to reach for a gun. But when your kid comes home and tells you that they're dealing with a bully at school, you ready to fight. Are y'all with me? Say, oh yeah. And it's open carry out here in Texas too? What? I already bought my Groupon class to take my first gun. What? Already bought. I've been to the gun range 3 times practicing. I'm ready. I'm sorry, I had a moment. But no, seriously. If you had a kid and your kid was being bullied, would you not go to the school right away and correct the issue? Say, oh yeah. How long would your kid be bullied at school? Once you knew there was a bully, not long. Am I right about it? Say, oh yeah. But we as adults deal with a bully every single day. It's called your bank statement. Your bank statement is your bully. Del Toro, what are you talking about? I'm so glad you asked. If I had a flip chart, I would show it to you differently. And this has nothing to do with this presentation and everything to do with it at the same time. Are y'all with me? Say, bring it on, Dale. When you look at your bank statement, I did this about 15, 16 years ago. It changed my life. Anybody ever heard of a guy named Bob Proctor? Bob Proctor from The Secret, great mentor, great personal friend of mine. Bob Proctor taught me something a long time ago before The Secret ever came out. Changed my freaking life. Watch this. Let me ask you a question. If you look at your bank statement, you have 2 deposits and you got 44 withdrawals. You got a bully. I don't care if 2 of The Rock walked in here right now. 2 of The Rock versus 44 freaking firewalkers. Is The Rock going down? Talk to me, all. Is The Rock going down? Yes. Sheer velocity alone will take down The Rock. Every single month, most people have 2 deposits. 44, 50, 55 withdrawals. Debits, blah, blah. I don't care if they're $2, $4, 50 cents. It does not matter. The sheer velocity of the withdrawals will always outweigh the deposits. You got a bully. And I'm sitting here trying to tell you something powerful. You have a gift inside you, and every one of you in this room have it. And it's a gift called your story and your expertise. And all speaking is, y'all, is creating a recipe that melts together your core genius, right, which is your expertise, and your life story, and putting it together and giving it to an audience of people that are hungry. That's all speaking is. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. It's using your genius for people that have the pain that your genius solves. If you have a headache, what are you going to do? Go and get some what? Excedrin. Am I right? Say, oh yeah, most people. Or you'll do something homeopathic, but you get the point. Don't be super deep with me. Go with the metaphor. I know I'm in front of a room full of like, you're right, but just breathe. You'll drink more water, right? You'll go home and you'll rebound. You'll do whatever, right? So I get that. But you stop by CVS and get Excedrin because you have a headache. Does that make sense? There's people around the world that have a headache. There's people around the world that have a need that your expertise and your life story solves. And the reason why you went through some of the hell you went through is to be able to relate to the people that you're there to help. The reason why Tony can help people who are suicidal is because he was there. So have you ever thought about the fact that your life story and all the shit you've been through was meant to qualify you to help people who are going through stuff? Isn't that powerful, y'all? It helps you reprocess the adversity you've gone through, no matter what it is. You went through it to get the street cred to be able to talk to people who have an issue. Is this helpful or what? Does this make sense? Who's got genius in the room? Like crazy genius. Say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Who's got a story in this room? Oh yeah, right? If you got a story, you got genius, then guess what? We can eradicate this bully. How do we eradicate the bully? By flipping the script. I want you to have a bank statement that has 12 deposits throughout the month and maybe 25 withdrawals throughout the month. Much better bank statement. Would you agree with me? Say, oh yeah. That's why you want the high side hustle. That's why you want to develop your speaking skills. That's why you want to, because guess what? You could go around and do all this stuff for free and change lives for free, but I'd rather change lives and be able to help take care of my kids at the same time. I'd rather be able to change lives, watch this, and make a difference in a dollar simultaneously. Poverty is selfish. Let me say that again. Poverty is selfish. Because when you're broke, the only needs you can focus on are your own. When you're broke, the only budget that matters is yours. But when you're blessed, you can help a whole bunch of other people in their budget. Am I right about it? Say, oh yeah. Is this good stuff, y'all? Is this making sense? Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm having a good time. Y'all having a good time? Where are we at, Ricardo? Where are we at on time frame? We got 10 more minutes left. Okay, cool, awesome. So I want to take a quick station break for massive breakthrough. I need 3 hands to go up. Massive breakthrough you've already gotten. 3 hands. Those are slow hands. Those hands will not get me invited back, ever. Do y'all want me ever invited back?
Yes.
All right, massive breakthrough already. He's like, holy crap, where do I start? Okay, cool, good.
Man, I got so many.
Stand up. He's got like 6 pages of notes. I love it. Massive breakthrough already. What's your name, bro?
My name is Rudolfo.
Rudolfo. Beautiful name, sir. I like it. Bam.
Appreciate it. I would say one of the biggest discounts. That's what I was looking at right there. It said, never discount the power of your story.
Never discounting the power of your story.
That's what I was looking at. I mean, I speak not for money yet, but like 2 or 3 times a week. Part of my job is being in front of customers and clients.
Love it.
So I need to be better at sharing my story. I don't.
Good, good.
So this is powerful stuff.
The power, I'm telling you, facts tell, stories sell.
Yes.
Facts tell, but it's the stories that sell.
Go for the heart and head of
Exactly, go for the heart. Yes, another massive breakthrough. Sarah, stand up, talk to us.
I liked it when you said the shit that you've been through qualifies you to talk to people with that issue.
Yes, I love that. It gives you the street cred. You need street cred. You can't relate to me if you ain't been through nothing. Does that make sense? But when you've been through something, you can stand with a level of conviction and a level of say something. A level of what? You know how you look at somebody sideways like, what did you just say? You got that because you've been through stuff. Makes sense? You've been through some storms. You ain't been through nothing, you don't have any street credibility. Relevant? Yes, ma'am, talk to me. I see it all in your face. Massive breakthrough. Stand up, talk to us.
Well, to me, it was more of I'm a checklist type of person, so it's to be present in the moment, enjoying the moment, and setting intentions. So I usually come here like, okay, check. I came done.
I did it, right.
I did it instead of saying, what did I get out of it?
Very good. The intention of what the heck did I get out of this? Another massive breakthrough. Yes, ma'am. Girl, you've been amening me with your eyes this whole time. Stand up, talk to me. I found you! I got you! You see what I'm saying? Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
Sophia.
Hey, Sophia. What's going on?
I love how you said it's not about getting through all your slides.
Yeah.
Be prepared and be present. And this year I did an 8th grade confirmation class for the first time. I was always the A, ready to sit back and help, but never, the catechist.
Yeah.
And so the opportunity presented itself, and I prayed, and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. But it's difficult when you have 8th grade students and you got to get them ready, but you got to get them prepared.
Yeah.
And, I would get my slides ready, I would get my presentation ready, but you never know what they're going to come to.
Yeah.
Come with you. And I would always have to change, but I have to be present, and I have to be genuine.
Yeah.
In order to engage them and teach them how important your faith is, and try to relate to them. So, and I didn't want to be a teacher. They're at school all day long.
Right,
So
right, right.
When you said that, I was like, that's right, but I got to learn how to do that in my business. Because I did it with my kids.
Right.
But I got to take it a step up. And
Good.
own it in my business.
We got to step up, right, and own this space so that we could grow our businesses and our messages and our stories. You will attract 100,000 times more clients way faster simply by being confident in your ability to deliver what your product and service is. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. Huge and huge, all right? I want you to get, how many of y'all want 1% of this industry? Look at how much revenue you would make from 1%. If you can make that much from 0.00001, imagine what you could get from 1%. I know what it's like, y'all, to make $40,000 a year. Let me tell you a little bit more about my story. I'm going to tell you that in a second. I'm going to tell you what. All right, so we talked about that. I'll tell you. So this is me, right? This is me in the middle as a baby, right? I'm not sure if they can turn this light off, but you can see it a little bit better. But it doesn't matter, because we'll leave the lights on because I need a flash. We've already established that earlier. All right, cool. So now, I want somebody to stand up and tell me what I just did. What did I just do? Re-engage the audience, but what else did I do? Interrupted the story, and what else? I used a callback. It's called a callback. It's a callback to a previously powerful state in the presentation that everybody can relate to. We laughed earlier about the flash. Now, comedians do this all the time, right? They'll set up something at the early part of their show, and they'll keep calling back to it the whole rest of the time, and the whole audience goes crazy every time they say it. Right? So every time Kevin Hart says, you're going to learn today, everybody starts laughing. Every time he says pineapples, everybody starts laughing because they know what he's talking about. He set it up earlier. When Chris Rock says, they spin, he's talking about rims, right? Right? So it's a callback to something powerful previous. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. So you can set something up in a presentation and come back to it anytime you want, and it's going to be relevant. So for the rest of this presentation, anytime I say a brother needs a flash, y'all are now looking at this black dude who's wearing an all-black suit, and you're like, dang, he kind of does need a flash, but you don't want to say that. So you don't want to say that. You're like, dang, I have a little bit more advantage than he does because I don't need a flash, right? I'm bright enough. You know. My man is laughing at me. He's like, dude, you are killing me right now. But you feel what I'm saying, right? It's funny. Make fun of yourself. Make fun of yourself. A merry heart works good like medicine. Y'all feel me? Get your audience to laugh more. Engage with them more. I'm telling you. People want to be entertained as you inform them. Does that make sense? So let your personality come out. This is who I am all the time. Is this who I am all the time? I'm just flowing. This is just me. I'm just adding content to it. That's all. But if we was hanging out, if we was at Hard 8, come on, somebody. I know some barbecue spots. Spring Creek. If we was at, what are the other? I said Hard 8. That's one of the best ones, isn't it?
Hutchins and McKinney. That's good.
I've never heard of Hutchins. I ain't heard of that one yet.
You tell McKinney, we'll take
You see how the smile dropped? I was like naming off, like I was in Long Star and been all these. I'm like, no. Cousins. I am hurting right now. Okay, I need to go back to Life Mastery and go back to my greens and my veggies and all. But no, listen, this is me as a babe. My mom was an English teacher, and my dad was. My dad actually is in a wheelchair. My father was paralyzed, shot in the upper back twice, fighting for UNI in the Vietnam War. Left on the battlefield for dead, true story. So my dad's been in a wheelchair from the time he was 21 and a half years old. And my dad actually was working for Delta Airlines, and he was going for a routine physical that they asked him to go into. So he goes into the office to take his physical, turns the corner, and guess what the physical was for? To be drafted into the military. Imagine, and then literally his first tour of duty, boom. He wasn't in the military 6 months before he got wounded. And the rest of his life, boom, in a wheelchair. My dad had every excuse in the world to sit back on a government check because he's a disabled veteran. Set. You know what my dad decided to do? He wanted to one day lead the same organization that rehabilitated him. My dad became the national director of the Paralyzed Veterans Association of America in Arlington, Virginia, over 10 years. Met every sitting president for the last 12 years. Worked with them to create policy for disabled veterans. Isn't that powerful? Somebody say, oh yeah. My dad was not an entrepreneur. My mom was not an entrepreneur, but they taught me 2 words that changed my life: work ethic. They taught me hustle. They taught me to hustle after what I wanted. And they taught me that obstacles, no matter how great they are, my mom being a single parent, my dad being in a wheelchair, that no matter what you go through, what you're going to is worth what you're going through. Did you catch that? What you're going to is worth what you're going through. Footnote for everyone who wants to develop your presentation skills: when you say something powerful, know that you said something powerful and say it again. Repetition is the mother of skill. Rehearsal is the what? Father of learning. Who says that? Tony Robbins. Repetition is the mother of skill. Rehearsal is the father of learning. When you say something powerful, stop and say it again, because great speakers know when they say something powerful. A whack speaker says something powerful and doesn't give the audience time to process how powerful it was and moves on to the next thing, because you didn't realize how great you are. So there's a part of this where you need to realize your ninja-ness. Does that make sense? You got to realize how, like, what? You got a Jackie Chan inside. You just got to let her out or let him out. Y'all feel me? Say, oh, yeah. Very good. All right, cool. So I was fortunate enough to kind of find my flow early. You know, I got my first job, and I know we're wrapping up here, and we're going to have lunch together and all that stuff, and I got to tell you about a cool program I've got for you. So I'm going to get to the point. I think I've gotten to the point all morning, though. It's kind of been cool. Isn't this awesome? This is the exact vest that I wore when I was 14 years old. I got my first job when I was 14. And I'm kind of known in the speaking world as the guy with the red vest. But this is the exact vest that I wore when I was 14. On my 14th birthday, I didn't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. I didn't want a big party. I didn't want a pool party at my house. I wanted to work. Because at that time, my mom had remarried a guy that was a deacon in church. So on Sunday, he was lifting up holy hands. But then Monday through Friday, he was lifting up those same hands, and he was abusing my mom. So I was exposed to domestic violence at a very, very early age. And I saw a lot of shady, shisty shit growing up. Does that make sense? And so I would escape to work. That was my outlet, because I wanted to do whatever I could to get out of the house. Does that make sense? Anybody ever been through something crazy before in your life? You just wanted to escape, say, oh yeah. So work became my escape. So on my 14th birthday, I wanted to get out. Why? Because y'all remember, I'm a Gen X cat. I wanted the little gold name plate with my name on it that I could buy myself so I could put it on my girlfriend. Come on, so y'all remember them days? Y'all. I wanted the Fat Man shoelaces. I'm just being real. That's what I wanted at the time. You feel me? Don't laugh at me. I want to be able to go to the movies and not have to ask my mom for money. So on my 14th birthday, I put on a black outfit, very similar to this, without the jacket, and a white shirt, nice black tie, and I put on this vest. But I didn't call myself a bag boy. I called myself a package executive. That's what I called myself at Winn-Dixie, a package executive. Now, if you look at my resume, it said this: it was my job to secure the safe transfer of purchased items from the store to the client's motor vehicle in such an ergonomic fashion that it would facilitate a repeat visit within 2 weeks. I was a bag boy. Come on, somebody. But I didn't call myself a bag boy. I called myself a what? Package executive. So within a couple of weeks, everybody's like, who is this package executive? And I became known at Winn-Dixie as this package executive. Everybody wanted to get their bags bagged by the package executive. Isn't that kind of cool? So I was doing branding at age 14, didn't even realize it. Does that make sense? Now I was making $4.75 per hour wearing this vest. I would put it on now, but I'm swole now. Fellas, you feel what I'm saying? I'm swole now. I can't, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I can't put it on now. I'm swole. You know what I'm saying? But back in the day, I used to be able to wear this. But listen, $4.75 per hour, that was my wage. But at Winn-Dixie, I was allowed to take tips. So I was making $20 an hour in tips. When I was 14, I was listening to a guy by the name of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' mentor. Jim Rohn changed my life. When I was 14 years old, he said, profits are better than wages. I want you to follow the math on this, because I want every single one of y'all to understand that the reason why I'm asking you to develop your genius is because I want to teach you. How many of y'all already learned like 4 and 5 levels of stuff above and beyond what you thought you were going to learn this morning? Say, oh yeah. That's the way I deliver. We've had about an hour doing this. Imagine hanging out with me for 3 days. I could change everything in your life on a lot of levels. You feel me? Say, oh yeah. So watch this. Here's what I mean by that. If you were to take, at 14, I had 4 income streams in my life. Now I have about 35. But when I was 14 years old, I developed 4 income streams. me show them to you. Let's do the math together. Y'all with me? $4.75. That was my wage per hour. You with me? Say right. Holla at your boy. Say right. Don't get quiet because we're talking numbers. I'm trying to help you grow. Open up your throat and holla at your boy. Why are you laughing at me? So now, right under that, write down $20 an hour in what? Tips. Next line. Before I became a speaker, I wanted to be a member of Boyz II Men. I look like him. Come on, somebody. I'm sure half of y'all been thinking that. He look like a member of Boyz II Men. Don't judge me. You feel what I'm saying? I grew up on Motown Philly. You feel what I'm saying? And End of the Road. Y'all with me? So I had two scene groups, me and 3 white dudes and me and 3 black dudes. I thought one of the 2 ethnic groups would make it. So we would go to malls and restaurants and we would walk around with these brandy sniffers and we would go sing a cappella for tips. And people would put tips in the jar and boom. So every weekend I was making another $50 because it was divided by all of us every weekend in tips just singing. My stepdad was a janitor at the church. So 2 times a week after church on Wednesdays and Sundays, we had to go back to the church and clean up. I was a sanitation engineer. I made another $75 a week doing that. 4 income streams at age 14. And I've developed that over the years, written numerous books, created multiple audio programs, created events, conferences. I have a reality show called The Keynote. I could go on and on. We could do this all day. Build all kinds of stuff out. Why? All because I found my core genius and I mastered and developed my story. And I mastered a skill set that allowed me to share it with the world. Does that make sense? $4.35 an hour, bagging groceries. Colleges around the country pay me $5,000, $7,000 an hour to come talk to students I would talk to for free. I went to Florida State University. I was labeled an at-risk youth in the 5th and 6th grade, told that I wasn't going to amount to much of anything, right? You talked about that, right? What I didn't tell you is I was able to go to Florida State University. I got a bachelor's and master's, 2 degrees in 5 years with a 4.0 and no debt. Because I found a mentor. Remember I told you about that guy named Dr. Jones? I met Dr. Lee Jones as a freshman. I studied under him for 5 years before Zig Ziglar came along, before Les Brown, before Dr. Stephen Covey came along, before Dr. Willie Jolly came along, before all the mentors that I have now came along. Dr. Jones prepared me for those people. What am I teaching you? I'm trying to help you understand the importance of finding a mentor, finding a voice that you trust, finding somebody who's walked the path that you admire and respect and can help you grow and cultivate your craft and your skill set and your belief in yourself and your dream. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. Very cool. Did I do my job?
Yes, sir. Give it up for Mr. Delatoro McNeil.